Lord Jesus. You're tuned in into reality right after, and Potomac wasted no time this week. Monique showed up with a bird and a testimony. Ashley arrived as Ash Top. And Kate dropped Chris Samuel's bomb right in the middle of Pride. So, of course, I had to call in backup for this episode. The one and only Anthony Polanco from By Latin Men is here. Hi, Anthony.
What up? How are ya?
I am so good. How are you?
Good. Nice to see ya.
I am very nice to see you too. I think the last time we saw each other was at the club. It was what was it like a? It was for my birthday. My birthday.
Oh, it was your birthday. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then we went out afterwards. Yes.
Yeah, you can hear me good, right?
I can hear you. You're
Okay.
perfect. You're fine.
So wow. So Potomac. But before we get into Potomac,
Yes.
first I wanted to remind everybody. First things first, subscribe to the pod. Also, I have a guest with me in the studio today. Hi, Edward. You guys can't hear him, but Edward is here. Hi, beautiful. I have a guest with me in the studio today. And oh my God, it's been insane. It's been insane in this street. So I don't think I've talked about it on the pod yet because I've been off the pod for a little bit, but y'all, Wendy Osefo and Eddie Osefo and this fraud case just keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier by the minute.
Mm-hmm.
So today we had an update where Wendy Osefo and Eddie are being accused of using over 40 credit card and fake names. The case against Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy and Eddie Osefo is intensifying as prosecutors seek additional finance records they say reveal a pattern of excessive spending. New filings allege the couple used nearly 50 credit and debit cards, some tied to company names, and operated under aliases like Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy. Like, just when you think these things can get worse, they actually do get worse. Prosecutors also accused Wendy of falsely denying the use of PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App for jewelry purchases. The Osefos continue to call the investigation a fishing expedition. Of course, the Osefos released a joint statement, and I wanted to read it for the listeners. The statement says, at the outset, police failed to properly investigate the initial burglary despite clear indications of a break-in, displaying clear bias against the Osefo family. The Osefos heard nothing but silence from police over 18 months despite complete cooperation and request for updates. It is common knowledge that other Real Housewives cast members have also been victimized after documenting their travel on social media, yet none faced their level of scrutiny or criminal charges. We believe it is deeply unjust for the Sheriff's Office and the Office of the State's Attorney for Carroll County to publicly expose confidential financial information about Eddie and Wendy Osefo. What is most disturbing is the state appears to have begun investigating only after charging the Osefos, which is highly irregular approach that raises serious concerns about motive and fairness. The public release of the family's private financial details serves no lawful purpose and only invites conclusion. Oh my God, that word is eating me up.
Conclusions?
No. Conclusory.
Conclusory?
Wow, it's the ESL, yeah. Again, the public release of the family's private financial details serves no lawful purpose and only invites conclusory opinions about the case the state is obviously still investigating. The Osefos have never used an alias on any financial application. This allegation is false and misleading. Such names were used for the delivery of packages following their lawful purchase to safeguard the identity of very public figures. It is ironic for the state to assert or exaggerate the existence of any oh my God, these legal words, purported debt in connection with this accomplished professional couple. Due process is paramount to the administration of justice. It is breached by misleading the public with false narrative has only compounded the harm. The defense is confident the court will prevent any further violation of the Osefos' right to fair trial.
Mm-hmm.
So, Anthony.
Yeah.
Knowing what we know so far, everything, like, what are your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts on that. So, that statement is trying to change public opinion. And what the Osefos don't understand is that it doesn't matter what the public thinks at this point. You are charged in court.
Right.
You should be fighting in court. You don't need to respond in public because now this can also be used against you in court.
Right.
Now, to address some of the claims that they made via their attorneys. Yes, the state is still investigating. Why? Because they don't have access to your financial documents, disclosure forms, anything until they charge you. They charged them because they determined that the insurance claims were fraudulent. That's one. Once they have that on you, they have free reign to go through everything. Because during disclosure, when they're trying to prove the case that you did lie on the insurance claims, and you're not addressing that you still had pieces that you claimed were stolen. So the fact that I think the first statement they put out was that the search and seizure was illegal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, ma'am. If I claim that I lost my gold chain and I got money for it, and the insurance company see it in the picture, that's all they need to now get a warrant for a search and seizure.
And also, you invited these people into your home when you said there was a break-in. That they also said that there were no signs of break-in. So I find that was one of the things that I found very interesting in that statement that they put out, because it says in there that they basically have ignored the Osefos for 18 months since the time of the alleged break-in, and that there was sign of a break-in. So now it's kind of like, okay, so who's lying? Are her lawyers lying, or it's the
state lying?
The state lying, saying that there weren't any signs of break-in.
So this doesn't go anywhere again, because the police officers that came to investigate and take the initial report have nothing to do with the insurance companies filing a fraudulent claim, and also the DA office now who's investigating. That police report was done the day that it was reported. And whatever's on that police report is never going to change. Right. Also, the following up with 18 months, they don't have to follow up. You reported something stolen, you filed the claim, you took the money. There is no follow-up. Right. Because what is the follow-up? They're going to say they found it and they're going to give it back to you? No, you already got paid for it. So this is so bad. I can't believe that. And if the state office is putting out that they have proof that they used over 40 or 50 credit cards with different names, they're not just throwing it out there. Like, the state doesn't need the public on their side. The state is going to prove their case in court.
Well, Wendy showed up to BravoCon over the weekend, and at BravoCon, she also maintained that these are all allegations, and that while she can't speak about the matter because obviously she's getting ready for a legal battle.
It sounds familiar. Karen, the whole season, couldn't talk about it.
Well, while we are in the topic of Potomac and the law, breaking news yesterday on the Reality Rundown, former RHOP star Mia Thornton was arrested in Atlanta and charged with larceny. Police say she's accused of stealing $11,000 worth of furniture from a furnished condo. Thornton moved to Atlanta earlier this year after leaving the Real Housewives of Potomac. Initial thoughts on hearing that Mia was arrested.
I thought it was so stupid. I'm like, you took furniture that you know you didn't buy? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then she tried to give it back. It's too late now. You already stole it. It's like when you walk out of a store with something that you stole, you can't just give it back. You're going to give it back and you're still going to jail.
And you're still going to jail.
I can't believe that she would do something so stupid.
I actually was a little shocked by this news. You know, when the news of Wendy came out, I was reporting it live. I was doing a special report, and one of the people that called in to my special report was Mia. And Mia, you know, she was talking about the Wendy situation, and she had a lot to say. So, a couple months later, we're here. And I just cannot believe it. Mia, we're sending you, you're a friend of the brand. We're sending you our love, and hopefully this all resolves. But girl.
Mia, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the couch or the table that you took. And I did see that, and karma wasted no time.
No time.
And getting that ass. And I'm like, what is going on in the Potomac water? Like, it's like Potomac is breeding criminals?
I don't know what is going on in the Potomac water, but listen, again, the housewives have been in the eye of justice all week. So traveling back from BravoCon, Portia Williams was involved in an alleged situation on a plane. The initial report, a spokesperson for the FBI told TMZ that the FBI Atlanta is aware of an incident on a Delta flight on November 16th, allegedly involving Portia Williams and or at least another person. So the spokesperson for Delta told TMZ that two customers on the flight were spoken to by a cabin crew, and the flight continued on to Atlanta, landed without issue. There was a problem, I guess, a spatting match between Portia. Not really a spatting match, because when you look at the videos and you see the things that were being said, Portia basically showed up to the plane. She had her phone on loud, and she was watching, I guess, TikTok videos or Instagram videos. This person, a white lady that was sitting next to her, felt like her phone was so loud, and she was like, am I gonna have to? She says that she waited 25 minutes, right, to say something to Portia, and then she finally said something to her and said, are you gonna bring that down? And then Portia was like, well, I don't like the way you're talking to me. And then that they started like something happened after that where it got really violent, and then that was the situation. When the body cam footage that was shown from Portia talking to the police and from... What happened? The body cam footage that was shown from Portia talking to the police and from the white lady also talking to the police, the white lady is exaggerating the entire situation. And what I find hilarious is that when Portia talks to the cop, other bystanders and witnesses were walking like out of the plane too, and they stopped to not only tell their eyewitness report but also defend Portia and say that she didn't do anything wrong. This other lady is crazy as hell, and she was like going off. So please, whatever it is, like, I was there and I saw everything. It, like, that other girl was crazy. I thought that was like insane. But I'm glad that those allies came through for Portia, because to be honest, you never know.
How do you feel about Portia being escorted by the FBI or some shit, and then she's stopping to say hi to fans? That was crazy.
I think it's iconic.
I think it's iconic, but I don't really know much details on that story. But if somebody's phone is on speaker, I'm going to be annoyed on a plane.
No, but I'm not even, like, you know what? That's the thing. Like,
did that happen at all?
I was like, you know what? Like, if that was the entire situation, like, sister, I would have been with you, because no shade, I do not like a phone being on loud. First of all, even on the train. Why do you have your phone on loud on the train? I do not like that. But it's also like your demeanor. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk to me crazy. And also, if I'm not raising my voice, why are you? And also, we're on a plane. Like, calm down. I feel like people need to really, like, this, in the era of baddies and suits, like, people think that everything is resolved with throwing punches and getting in the pain. And it's like, everybody calm down. Calm down.
I mean, it was a full weekend.
It was a full weekend.
After BravoCon.
BravoCon was definitely...
How do you feel about Wendy attending BravoCon? Or Karen getting a standing ovation?
So I did see a lot of mixed reviews about Karen getting a standing ovation at BravoCon. Listen, I think that the standing ovation served different purposes. I don't think it was a standing ovation of, we are congratulating Karen after, you know, her coming out of jail, and no, that's not what they were trying to do. I think that at the end of the day, Bravo and these shows, it's about redemption. At the end of the day, it's about showing things full circle, and we cannot act like this wasn't a full circle moment for something like this. When it comes to reality TV, it's about showing the full picture. So if Karen went to jail, we saw her go to jail, we saw her come out of jail.
But where is the accountability?
I think you'll see it on the show. I don't think God! I don't think the BravoCon stage is it was the time or place for her to.
She don't need. But why does she need a stage? She has social media. The same way she could post her getting her hair and makeup done and coming out fabulous out of jail.
That's true.
She lied for over a year about her being innocent. So why aren't you keeping the same energy on social media? Why you got to come back on the show? I don't think she deserves to come on the show unless she has taken accountability. Like Teresa, everybody want to compare Teresa. I don't even like Teresa. But Teresa took accountability. Yeah. Like before coming back to the show, she went to prison. She came back. She wasn't flashy about it. All she focused on was her family. Mm-hmm. Karen came out straight to a salon. Like, that's just insane. And she didn't even do the whole time.
She didn't.
And that's like if Jen Shaw came out and, about redemption. No, we don't need you to tell your story on the show. Like, you should take accountability for what you did and show that you improved. Because if Karen came out and if she was drinking at BravoCon, that's not going to show me that you took any accountability, because that was your 4th DUI. There's nothing to clap about that. And especially for people out there, millions of viewers every week on these shows, multiple people have to be affected by people that were killed by drunk drivers. So they got to take that into consideration. Or parents that are dealing with kids that have DUIs. Yeah. Or alcoholic issues and stuff like that. So I just feel like it was just tasteless for her to be there and be celebrated. And for Wendy to even be invited with these charges.
That's valid. But I mean, honestly, money has to be made because lawyers need to be paid.
Oh, no. I know Wendy was going to turn it down. She got to save every coin she can. And you know what I was going to say is when I was watching this week's episode, when they were showing her renovation, mm-hmm. I said, well, this is where the money went?
Hold on. On our last story, before we get into the recap.
Yes.
Madison LaCroix says Sai De Silva is the meanest girl she ever met. And Sai responds, I don't know her. Ooh. So this was some tea that came down from BravoCon and kind of like the end of BravoCon. So in one of the BravoCon panels, Madison LaCroix from Southern Charmed was asked who was the meanest person in Bravo that she's ever met. And, well, they placed a photo of Sai and she had to basically say something about this person. Oh. And what she said about Sai was that she was the meanest girl she ever met. When the video went viral, Sai commented on the post and said, "You must have me confused. Not all brown people look alike. I never met her before." And then also posted the I don't know her Mariah Carey meme.
Oh.
So
Well,
then
now you're mean.
so then social media of course went crazy over this, and Twitter fans very fast came to the conclusion and found out that Cy and Madison had actually met before in a BravoCon panel years before. And this was then pointed out to Cy, and Cy was basically said on her story, sitting next to someone on a live taping of a show 2 years ago does not mean you know them. I sit next to people on the train every day, and I do not know them. So, what do you think about this?
If they were on that panel together and they weren't introduced before, after, or hung out, then they didn't meet. They were on a panel.
Right.
Did the girl clarify if it was her for real after that?
What do you mean?
Because Cy says that she had her confused.
No, it was her. It was her. And she basically said that she basically felt that Cy's responses were proving her point that she is a mean girl.
Well, they do. And I mean, she's a New Yorker. What can we say?
I love Cy. I don't know. I think that
I love Cy too. But we're from this area, so the way that we are sometimes can come across as just rude or mean.
That's very
to other
true.
people, especially people in the South, like Southern charm. There ain't no charm up here unless we're buddies and besties.
That's very true. That is very true. Well, those were the 3 top headlines for today's episode. Again, listeners, if you guys want to know, stay on top of everything reality TV, make sure you are following the Reality Rundown on Instagram for all the latest headlines. Okay, so let's get into some Potomac, right? We open up at Monique's house, and baby, she is smiling like she knows she's about to shake the Bravo universe. Ashley arrives, and the two hug like cousins who never stop talking. You immediately feel that these two stayed really close off camera. Then the Chirons hit. Articles and headlines about Monique's divorce flash across the screen, and Monique laughs and says, I'm 300 pounds lighter. I said, Monique, now that's some shade. She introduces Ashley to her new bird, R.I.P. to T'Challa, who passed away in 2021. When Ashley mentioned him, Monique immediately gets teary-eyed. You see her try to swallow it down, but she gets really emotional about her bird that died.
Yeah.
She says she's been on an awakening path, and the spark of that journey, the infamous fight with Candace. Monique claims the process forced her to confront ugly truths about her that she's been avoiding for a very long time. Ashley asked her about the group. Monique says she genuinely hopes she can move forward with Giselle if she'll have her. So, Anthony, do you think that this is genuine healing era or a well-produced comeback for Monique?
I think that she is going through a healing era. And we've seen it if you follow her on her live and on her Instagram. I mean, after going through a divorce, after being on that other married show for how many seasons, I think that she is going through like a rebirth of who she is as a single woman, because she was the family, the married woman with all the kids, the husband since a young age. So I think that she really probably do feel like she lost 300 pounds.
I thought that was some shade to Chris because, you know, Chris was big.
It was.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, she could shade him.
Happy to have Monique back?
I am elated. Monique left on such a fucking high note for me that I was so upset that she quit. It was like, ma'am, you just had the most iconic reunion. And the funny thing is that the 300 pounds that she lost today is the 300 pounds that probably made her quit back then, because she's like, I don't need this shit. I'm happy with my husband. I don't need to be on this show. And one thing that I thought was crazy is how emotional she was with the bird when Ashley was talking to her house. Didn't somebody shade her in that party about the bird, and she just let it go? Somebody was like, "Oh, well, that bird died. That's what they get for biting me," or some shit like that. I was like,
Wendy.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't say nothing about it though. I was surprised.
So I guess the healing is actually
That's the
working.
growth.
I'm happy to see Monique back. I'm also happy to see that, I'm also happy that she came back as a friend. I do think that is the right path for her. Do I think that there's a path for Monique to be full-time one day? Maybe, if there is. If Monique one day gets into a relationship and maybe there's a marriage and there's a new life, maybe. But I don't think that just because someone was full-time before and now, like, I don't see full-time material right now. I do see great friend of. I'm happy to have Monique back, and I really hope that her and Giselle can, get ahead of their problems and the things. It seems like they're gonna be okay, but I hope it stays okay.
For me, we are about to lose another wife, Wendy. So I think Monique can definitely come back full time if we are able to see her family. We're able to see her dating, and Monique can bring it. Like, you don't have to have a man. Like, her and Ashley could be single together and just terrorizing these girls. Like,
that is true.
All we need is to be entertained. All we need is the shade. Like, when she said, why the hell would you ever go in business with Giselle with a fucking clothing line? Like, Monique just looks so good on TV.
That was
her confessional looks.
Her confessional looks are great.
She's gonna give the reads. I think it was great to come back as a friend of, because it would have been weird for her to just come back full time this season out of nowhere.
I agree.
Because she has a history with the ladies.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I'm glad she's back.
Well, we cut to Wendy and Eddie in hard hats. Yes, literal construction gear. The entire house is torn up like a HGTV spinoff gone rogue. Wendy casually drops the cost $100,000.
Where'd that come from?
Anthony, are we...
More evidence for the DA? When you gotta show how you pay for this?
I just think it's very poetic, to say the least, that as Wendy and Eddie are fighting fraud charges, it just happened that the season what they're getting a house renovation is what's airing on Potomac. Like,
and they know that this was gonna come out.
Right.
Yeah. And they choose to keep speaking publicly.
I don't even know what to ask you about this scene, because I'm like, it doesn't even make sense to like talk about it, like, because we know what's going on.
We know what's going on, and first of all, we were all under the impression that Happy Eddie is making all this money.
Millions, I thought.
Millions! And you waited to renovate your house conveniently after you got $450,000 in insurance money? That doesn't make no sense to me. Also, I don't understand who they're trying to keep up with. Like, where is all the wealth in Potomac?
Like,
it's not there.
Who are we trying to compete with? Because I'm telling you, you're winning right now.
Hello? The degrees, the doctor, or the lawyer. Is he a lawyer or a doctor?
He's a lawyer.
Well, he got disbarred, didn't he?
Well, not yet.
I thought he lost his license last year.
No. He hasn't. No, he hasn't.
Oh.
I don't believe so.
Well, going to prison, we'll do it.
Well, next, Stacey is at a branding shoot for Shio, her cannabis gummy line. The vibe is big, clean, Afro-futuristic green. She explains the name Shio, which means to be happy in Yoruba. The producers immediately got messy. How do you think the Osefos will react to you using a Nigerian name for your company? And Stacey smirks like she's already bracing for a storyline and explains that, she did an ancestry test and that she has some Nigerian ancestry and that's the reason why she wants to name her cannabis line Shio. And
you can't even talk seriously with this bullshit.
Stacey, it's like, she's writing the handbook for new women that come on the Real Housewives. Like, I need newbies to read the Stacey Rush handbook.
And Brittany from Salt Lake City. They're the same.
And well, Brittany's not full-time, but you know what I mean.
True, but Brittany is like, the energy that, or the what she contributes to a scene is like she might as well be full time.
That's true.
And it's like Miami. Like the friends of are there in almost every scene. They have such a role in the show that you forget that they're not full time. Like when Giselle says she's a friend or a wife, I forgot. I mean,
Right.
full time.
For,
But Stacey is not stupid. Like, come on.
do you think that Stacey, like, okay, so Stacey obviously knew that she maintains that at the time when she was asked about the cannabis line, that there was no concrete negotiations or businesses in place, that there was some conversations, but that she hadn't, done anything or signed anything.
Mm-hmm.
So she feels like she wasn't lying when she was asked at the reunion if she had a cannabis line coming out, because at that time she hadn't. But then since then, she had taken some meetings. She did some negotiations, and actually she's bringing out her first cannabis gummy line. So, do you think she was being messy, or do you think Stacey's actually telling the truth about it's just a coincidence of time?
So how much time is it between the reunion and they start filming again?
For this cast, I think it was like a couple months, probably like 2, 3.
She said this all happened in 90 days. So if Giselle already heard about it during the reunion, or before the reunion, because they take the reunion as the show is still going, so that was months before. Like, I don't buy it, but my thing is that she probably just didn't expect anyone to find out. Yeah. And then also, I don't see the issue though. Like, I don't give a fuck who's doing what. If I want to do it, I'm gonna do it. If I can make money out of it, I'm gonna do it. Like, if I can sell a car and you selling cars, we could both sell cars. Right. That doesn't mean that, like, because Kay has a spot, nobody else can have a spot. That don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me, but it's just Stacey doesn't have that. I don't know. It's like she doesn't have that fight in her to just stand up for what she want to do and be like, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks.
And I think that she did. She could have said something in the reunion, but again, she did want to control her narrative, which is why she didn't. And no shade, you pay the price. Now you're being painted as the liar that kept something from the cast. And I think that's just how the cookie crumbled.
But she didn't have to lie. She couldn't just said, she could have shaded Giselle, like, Giselle, who the fuck you know? Like, how you know all my business? And she could have been like, I haven't signed any contracts, but I have been in talks with it. Like, that's all she had to say. She flat out denied it. So that's the issue.
Well, Angel grabs lunch with her older sister, Ingrid, who actually looks exactly like the older, slightly stricter version of her. And Angel details the Nevis, that's where they were?
Yes, Nevis, yep.
The catfish, the drama, the Giselle meltdown, and how Wendy laughed a little too loud. The sisters start shading looks and zip codes. Those women don't dress like us. They don't even live where we live. Angel admits that she feels misjudged, but still wants to break into the group. Is Angel giving misunderstood sweetheart or passive-aggressive newcomer?
I don't think she's misunderstood. I just feel like what Giselle did in Nevis just threw off her whole mood or wanting to be around the group. Because it was something that was very petty to do. I mean, I love Giselle. Yeah. So I never really, like, I always defend her, but I have to call a spade a spade. When you have a new mother and you're talking, like, clearly we see, okay, she gained some weight. Okay, she could get down. And I saw her on Watch What Happens Live recently. She looks great. She looked better. Yeah. She's looking more like the motherfucking pictures. But to bring that up when you're not her close friend and in a group, it's clearly to embarrass somebody.
Yeah.
And that was fucked up. And then that changed her whole attitude because people were laughing. Everybody was chiming in. It wasn't like people were like coming at Giselle for it. Nobody defended her.
Nobody.
Even her friend didn't defend her. All they said was, that's her. Well, we not addressing the... If somebody would have been like, Giselle, that's fucked up. Like, she just had a kid. Like, are you body shaming her? Right. Now Giselle got to apologize right then and there. But nobody did that. It went on for a whole day, and then they had a 1-to-1. So I don't think she's misunderstood. I just feel like that threw a wrench in it where Angel feel like nobody really is trying to get to know her. Nobody's really there. Nobody's real. Nobody's trying to be her friend. She only knows Kiarna.
Castmates, I want to know what you guys think about this. So please let us know in the comments below. And also if let us know in the comments below. I don't know what I was gonna say. Giselle sits with her daughter, still processing her father's estate issues. She believes his wife, whom she has no relationship with, is behind a lot of the tension around the will. She is trying to fight to get the will of her dad because, she's trying to get what she deserves and what her daughters deserve. This is the more vulnerable Giselle we've ever, Giselle doesn't really get vulnerable like that. So seeing her be worried about this, has, it's a little different. On the other hand, Kay and Greg head to a Wu-Tang concert. She's outside with her man. Kay shares therapy has genuinely improved their relationship. They're flirting, dancing, and vibing. Her storyline is surprisingly grounded and refreshing. How is Kay doing to you this season?
Kay did not deserve this season. Nobody cares about her and Greg. We haven't even seen her business this time. We only see her because her friend Angel. I mean, I don't know what Kay is doing here, or what she did to deserve to be a full-time housewife. To be honest. Beautiful though. She's beautiful.
Beautiful gowns.
Yeah. Beautiful face card, beautiful gowns.
Beautiful gowns.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. I don't know. Kay, something that Candace said in a recent podcast, Candace said that she feels like Kay is in need of some mentorship on this show. And I think that's really what's needed for Kay. I think that she needs that older veteran that's been on this show for a very long time to take her in. We all thought that was going to be Karen, of course. Excuse me. But it isn't.
It was supposed to be Candace who brought her on the show.
It was Candace
and left her.
I thought she came in through Wendy because, they were like friends. I forgot who she...
No, she came in through Candace. Remember, because Candace was always beefing with Ashley. So Ashley had her friend Sesame Street, and Candace got her friend Kiarna the fighter.
No. You're Kiarna came in through Wendy.
Really?
No. Listen. Kiarna either came in through Wendy or Giselle. It was either it was either those
not
two.
Giselle.
Because Giselle and maybe Giselle just knew her, but Kiarna came in through Wendy.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT.
No, she did. Because remember that her and Wendy are friends from off the show, and Wendy and Kiarna's mom are the ones that are actually friends.
Oh, it says Wendy.
Yeah. So
it says Wendy introduced her to Candace.
Yeah.
And that she was a good time or whatever.
And then it was just that because they were friends, and then that happened, Kiarna was defending Candace and was throwing hands on behalf of her.
But Wendy, I don't think Wendy can mentor anyone. She couldn't even handle NECA. Like, come on.
Well, this scene is gold. Wendy and Stacey meet for lunch, and the chemistry is surprisingly warm. Wendy loves that Stacey isn't too serious. But then Ashley's World Pride event invite comes up, and Stacey brings up Shayo. Wendy asks, why Nigeria? Stacey says, because I have an affinity for Nigerians. Which I thought was hilarious. Wendy stares into the camera like she's in the office.
She broke the fourth wall.
She broke the fourth wall, honey. Stacey explains she's not trying to compete with Happy Eddie, but the tension is simmering. Do you think, did Wendy overreact, or did she react appropriately to this?
I was actually surprised at how Wendy composed herself.
Me too.
Because she actually said, oh, this is going left. And then she let her explain. And then she said, okay, that's fine. Like when she said, "I'm not trying to compete with Eddie,"
Yeah.
and then they continue to order food, and then she said, "No, we're not sharing though. You have your own food."
Yeah.
My food. I was actually surprised by Wendy how she handled it, because
I'm
I was expecting her to like go off on like calling her a liar, like
yeah.
she's trying to be her and walking out.
I'm surprised by Wendy overall. I think that I did not expect for Wendy to be looking for a relationship with Stacey this season. Knowing how the last season ended in the reunion, Eddie was the catalyst of uncovering the Stacey slash TJ drama. So the last thing I thought was that we were gonna have one-on-one scenes between Wendy and Stacey to for them to explore their friendship. Some might say that this could be of beneficial interest for each of them. They're both looking for allyship in this show. I don't know. Let's see where this friendship goes. Knowing what we know now about Wendy, at BravoCon, we did find out that Stacey and Giselle have been the only two women that have reached out to Wendy post fraud charges, and Stacey herself has been one of her biggest supporters. While Giselle has not really said anything about the fraud charges and Wendy too explicitly, Stacey has maintained that she feels that these are allegations and that Wendy is innocent and that she hopes that this is proven in the court. So again, let's see where this friendship with Wendy and Stacey goes. The Dallas wedding tour. Wendy and Stacey and Ashley fly to Dallas for Jassie's wedding. The dresses are giving glitter and pageant glam. Ashley thinks it's suspicious that Stacey said yes only after she heard that Wendy was going. So Ashley's basically claim is that Stacey only signed up for this trip to Dallas because she knew it was going to be filmed for the show. But before the other cast members were not going to this, that Stacey actually had no actual desire to go to Jassie's wedding. Do you believe, Ashley?
Is Jazzy and Stacey friends?
I mean, they are technically, yes. That's why Jassie had her in the wedding and Stacey declined.
Oh, she asked her to go. Yeah, she asked her to be a part of it. Yeah,
and she declined.
I do agree that when she heard that other women were going, then she went. I don't think she would have went alone. And for her to move the date of Shio and all that stuff, yeah, it was because of filming. She's like, more camera time.
Right.
And maybe she could find a ball player.
Shout out to Jassie. Congratulations on getting married. Well, the big scene of the night. Everyone arrives at a vibrant pride looks. We see Grace Bryant out hanging out with her mom, so iconic. Ashley debuts her drag persona, Ash TOP. She gives everyone drag names. Giselle gets serving jizz and hates it. It's so funny. But then Monique walks in. Giselle freezes like someone unplugged her. She admits she's been thinking about Monique since the divorce. She wants to meet the real Monique, not the Chris era Monique. And we don't really get to see too much interaction between Monique and Giselle at this point. They do say hi to each other and it's very, easy. But as soon as Monique gets in the scene, Kay starts to get messy right away.
Yep.
And she brings out the fact that, oh, Monique, your ex-husband, Chris Samuels, right? I heard that Stacey is trying to get with your man. Monique is
your
like...
ex, your baby father.
Monique is like, huh?
Huh?
Everybody's looking at Kay like, huh? Was Kay jumping the gun, looking for a moment, or actually just wanting to call Stacey out? What do you think?
Kay finally clocked in. This is a show, people. We are not here to hang out and kumbaya and talk about the weekend,
Right.
have a drink, and go home. You are part of a show. You are there to bring up conversations that we want to see. And that's exactly what Kay did. So this is the first time I can say Kay was clocked in.
A lot of
She was
people
like,
did.
oh, she was like, Monique, you know Stacey, right? And Monique was like, no. And Stacey, I thought you said you saw her a few times. And are you dating her ex?
Right. A lot of people did not
Everybody was
like.
shocked.
A lot of people did not like Kay's performance in this scene. They did feel like she was looking for a moment or grasping at straws or a little bit just coming off a little bit too strong, seeing that Monique just had walked in. However, I do see both sides to it. Like you said, this is a show. And Drama just walked in through the door, and there's a very messy connection between this new person that just walked in and Stacey, who at this point, Kay has some drama with Stacey. So she feels like this is calling her out, and this is going to make her this is going to feel vindictive, you know, to Kay. She's gonna feel vindication by letting it be known that Stacey is messy as hell and is over here trying to get with Monique's ex-husband.
And Kay is not crazy for that because, again, if this, like, everybody knows Monique was part of this show.
Right.
How are you trying to date an ex-husband of someone that was on this show, but not even talk about it? Like, you thought it was going to be secret? Like, of course it's going to be brought up.
Do you actually think that Stacey was trying to pursue Chris Samuels in a romantic way?
She said they went on a few dates. But she said they never kissed and they never had sex. But they went on a few dates. But I don't understand the people that something's going on in the air that always the housewife that is like the messiest or played dumb gets all the defense from the crowd this season. Like Brittany, she's getting bullied and blah, blah, blah. And then, but it's like, but these women talk crazy. Like they say crazy things. Like when you react and respond, them crying doesn't mean that they got bullied. And Stacey looks like she's innocent, but even in the beginning, in the first 2 episodes, when Ashley kept holding her to the fire, like, no, you lied.
Right.
TJ said this in the court. Like, what are you gonna say? And everybody was like, why is Ashley being messy? Why is Ashley keep bringing it up? Leave Stacey alone. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
Right.
Like, this is Stacey's storyline.
And what do you want them to do? This is like literally the premise of the show.
Exactly. And they're trying to see if you're a liar or not.
Agreed.
And also, how is it messy when we already know Stacey already admitted to it? Why would, if nothing happened, why can't Stacey tell Monique to her face?
Right.
That's it. Y'all grown women.
Castmates, I want to know what you guys think. Was it messy for Kay to bring this up in front of everybody? Did Monique?
It was absolutely messy, but we loved mess. So who cares?
We love mess. There you have it. Well, that was Potomac 1007, an episode that came in peaceful and left in full rainbow-colored flames, honey. Huge thank you to my brother Anthony Polanco for breaking this down with me. Make sure y'all catch out. Huge thank you to my brother Anthony Polanco for breaking this down with me. Make sure you check out By Latin Men everywhere you listen to your podcast. We'll be back next week. Same shade, same chaos, same reality right after here on the Reality Rundown. Subscribe. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.